Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and in this video, we're going to take a look at self-hosted runners. So I'm going to go over to our repo, and I feel like we're going to need compute for this one. I can't remember if I have a template for this. Let's go take a look before we jump in. And so I might have one self-hosted. I just want to see what we have in here. It's a very simple script, so yeah, it's something that we'll utilize. What I'm going to do here is go ahead to code. And we will launch up code spaces for this one, which opens up in another tab, which is nice. And we will wait for that to provision. As that is going, we'll go here to the left-hand side, and we'll go to runners. I think this wasn't here just a second ago, so maybe they just added a feature while we've been working. We go to self-runner. We can add a new runner, and we'll go here. It took us over to our settings page here in our org. And we'll go and set new. Now, I assume that this can be done at all levels. If you don't see it, then maybe it needs to be an org level. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, the point is that I'm going to just show you how to create that self-runner. And we have a few options. We have Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. I'm going to go with Linux here today. And so the question is, can I run it in GitHub Codespaces? I'd be really curious to see if that works. But what we'll do here is we'll just wait a little bit for this to provision, and we'll try it out. I'm expecting this not to work because we are in a Codespaces environment. But if that doesn't work, I can always try my local machine. We'll figure something out, okay? And actually, while we're waiting for that, we could go over to the GitHub Actions runner website, GitHub Actions runner, GitHub, and maybe we can just read about it a bit. Yeah, GitHub Actions runner, the runner is an application, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just curious about the prereqs because I don't think I looked into this. So here it's supporting very specific distributions. So we have a lot of options. We have to install the .NET Core Linux dependencies. Whoa. We need a full list of dependencies. So it looks like it's pretty involved. So I'm not sure how I'm going to install this in code spaces. Also, it doesn't talk about like any kind of communicational things. The config.sh will check .NET Core 3 times dependencies during the runtime. So what we'll do, we'll just try it. I'm not saying it'll work, but we'll try it, and we'll see what will happen if we go ahead and configure this. It's not that important that we get a working self-hosted runner. It's just more going through the process and learning it, okay? So if we quit here and it doesn't work, that's totally fine. So what we'll do is we'll go through each step and we'll see what happens. So the first thing is we want to make a directory. So we'll do that. And I'm just going to cd. It doesn't matter where we cd. I was thinking like we're in gitpod, but we're not. Yeah, just to make it not a mess, I'll cd back one directory. All right, so we ran that line. And I'll copy the next line here and hit enter. And we'll go back over to here and I'll grab the next line, use the copy button, I guess, and hit enter. I mean, see, it's pretty straightforward. And we'll copy this one and we'll hit enter. Is that going to work? Is that going to entire? Or is this really big? Well, I guess it's working. ls. Yeah, I guess it's doing something. We'll go back here. Now we'll configure. And notice that there is a token here. So I'm assuming that's how it knows what to do is because of that token. But, again, I'm going to assume that we don't have the prereqs on this machine or, connected to GitHub. There we go. Enter the name of the runner group to add this to the runner. We'll just hit enter to go to the default. Enter the name of the runner. We'll call this Enterprise, I guess. I don't know. The runner will have the following labels as the default. Add any additional labels. We'll say Enterprise. And so we enter the name of the work folder. What is the work folder? Is it where it's going to perform the work? We'll just hit enter for work, I suppose. There we go. So that is done. Okay. So we should be able to use it now. It just seems like there should be more to it, but apparently that's all we had to do. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't, I don't care. We at least saw the setup for it. So we'll go over to our GitHub Actions, and we will go into our templates, and we'll go down below to self-hosted. And this looks pretty straightforward. This is set to self-hosted. We'll go ahead and copy. Now, we could probably also put the other label there if we don't want to have self-host and say enterprise. I'm just going to have it as self-hosted. We'll keep it simple. And then we'll go here and paste this right in here. Paste, 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 paste. And we'll go over to here and we'll just say commit self-hosted runner. Still, I'm not sure how this would work. I feel like it can't be this easy. There's no way. It never is this easy. But I guess we'll find out. So got to get back to our repo. All right, and we'll go over to Actions, and we'll go to Commit Self-Hosted Runner, and we'll click into this. And this is usually what happens. It'll say waiting for a runner to pick up the job. And so I don't see how this could work because none of the ports are open. So I think that if the ports were open, and again, it doesn't say what ports have to be open, so I'll go ahead and say self-hosted networking runner. Like how would it, you know what I mean? Network. Yeah, so we'll go to communication between self-hosted runner. The self-hosted runner connects to GitHub to receive jobs. You must ensure the machine has appropriate network access to at least 70 kilobits. Connection between the self-hosted and GitHub has to be open on port 443. So I don't think this is going to work. But it is interesting to see that, and I think we kind of satisfied what it is that we wanted to see. You'll notice that it will never pick up the runner here, so I'm going to go cancel it out. I feel like it'd be a lot of work to get this to work on my local machine. Another thing that we could do is we could go over to, let's say, AWS or anywhere and try it there. Okay, we could do that, but then we might have to configure a bunch of stuff. So I would just say for the scope of this exam, I think that we learned what we need to know or certification. And if you really want to go full on this, you can do that. I'm just trying to make your life a bit easier here today. But I'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.